age, and hopefully, if the FDA approves, we may be able to kind of allow those younger age ranges to get vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine as well. It is 95% effective at preventing COVID-19 illness in people who receive both doses and after the 2-week waiting period. The clinical trials for the Pfizer vaccine included 43,000 participants, or over 43,000 participants. 81.9% of those folks were white, 26.2% of those folks were Hispanic or Latinx, 9.8% of those folks were African American, and then 4.4% of those folks were Asian. So that is the racial ethnic breakdown of the Pfizer clinical trials for the testing of their COVID-19 vaccine. Now we can jump into the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It is a viral vector, so it's different from the Pfizer and Moderna because it just uses a harmless version of the virus that we're trying to protect ourselves against. It is only a one-shot vaccine. That's significant because you do not have to come back for the second shot when you get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Not only is that very convenient for the average community member, but it also provides us just a more effective way to vaccinate folks who may be experiencing homelessness because they may not be at the same homeless shelter 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later for us to give those second shots, or for folks who may be undocumented or they're immigrants or they're migrants and move around a lot, so they may not be in the same place where they'll be receiving the second shot after the fact. So the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is really opening doors for us to vaccinate greater portions of all of our global population. It is currently recommended for people aged 18 years and older, and its efficacy is 66.3% effective at preventing COVID-19. I have to mention that a lot of folks get taken aback by the difference in efficacy in the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine versus Johnson & Johnson. But the biggest, benefit of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is that it has been tested. It has been tested in different portions, in different regions of the world that the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines were not, and it has been tested against the variants that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have not been tested against. So the biggest thing in the news right now is that COVID-19 is evolving and it's looking different, and it's causing a lot of us to question, okay, are our vaccines still effective? But the Johnson & Johnson has been tested on a global level and has been tested against a lot of these variants already. So even if its efficacy number is a little bit lower, that's mainly because it was being tested against different versions of the COVID-19 vaccine. And it is still effective at not just preventing folks from dying from the coronavirus, but also making sure if you do get infected, you won't have any severe symptoms that would cause you to be hospitalized. So please don't let this efficacy number deter you from getting vaccinated, because anyone you have available to you is one that you should take for yourself. The clinical trials for Johnson & Johnson vaccine include 40,000 participants, and you see the racial breakdown including 62% white, 17% Black and African American, 8.3% American Indian or Alaska Native, 5.4% multiple races, and 3.5% of Asian participants. And the ethnicity included 45.1% Hispanic or Latino, and then obviously non-Hispanic and Latino folks were representing 52.4% of the ethnic breakdown. So you have to note that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine had a more diverse participant group because it was tested on a more global level than the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine. Once again, all are effective at making sure you are able to fight off the virus. There are just some subtle differences between each, and we recommend that anyone that is available to you to really kind of pursue that opportunity, because any protection is so much better than no protection at all. So the benefits far outweigh the risks. None of the COVID-19 vaccines contain the live virus that cause COVID-19, so a COVID-19 vaccine cannot make you sick with COVID-19. You may feel some slight side effects, but it will not make you sick. That's just your body working to produce that immune response that you're going to need to fight off the virus if you ever actually get infected. COVID-19 vaccination will help keep you from getting COVID-19, and the evidence shows that it may also help you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get infected with COVID-19. So really keeping you out of that hospital is major for us. Getting vaccinated yourself also protects people around you, particularly people at increased risk for severe illness for COVID-19. So if you have that whole group, whether it's a older member of your family, or younger member of your family, or somebody who has an autoimmune disease and is immunocompromised, or just somebody who doesn't have good health, whatever it may be. It doesn't just protect you to get vaccinated, it protects every single person that you are around because you're no longer at risk to spread the virus to them. COVID-19 can have serious life-threatening complications, and there's no way to know how the virus will affect you. So even if you hear about folks who are recovering just fine, that may not be you. That may not be just because you are young, just because you may not have any chronic disease. That does not mean that you won't either have a life-threatening issue from COVID-19 or die from COVID-19. And a lot of what we're seeing is that even from folks who recover from the virus, no longer breathe the same, right? Their body no longer operates the same because of the toll that the infection had on them. And I can confirm through the CDC and the FDA that no links have been found between vaccination and death. So those numbers do not add up to showing a relationship between getting vaccinated with COVID-19 and dying. So that's one thing that we can say with definite confidence. Post-vaccination. So COVID-19 vaccination will be an important tool to help stop the pandemic, but not by itself. Wearing masks and social distancing will still be pivotal in helping to reduce your chance of being exposed to the virus or spreading it to others. The combination of getting vaccinated and following CDC's recommendations to protect yourself and others will offer the best protection for COVID-19. So even after you've found your vaccination and you're protected from the virus, you're still going to need to follow those guidelines to make sure that you're not getting anybody else sick, or just to continue to protect yourself, because not everybody gets the complete immunity from the coronavirus after getting vaccinated, but they get the protection from severe illness from the coronavirus. So just keep that in mind after you've done your vaccination. And in terms of getting in touch with us for additional information, and just right before we open it up for just general questions from the group, you can visit us at www.phcc.org if you want some general information or vaccine information, or just some insight about how we've been outreaching to our minoritized populations. You can find all that information at the Health Department webpage. And we also have hotlines if you have any additional questions from public health, or also through the Ohio Department of Health as well. And I think that is all I have. I know I wanted to leave most of this presentation, most of this time, for any questions or concerns that folks have based on what was shared with the presentation, or just in general about the vaccine.
Thank you for that presentation. Is it possible for us to get a copy of the PowerPoint?
Absolutely. I'm just gonna make sure we're gonna send this over to our public information team just to make sure all things, they don't have to make any additional finalizing edits to it, but I can make sure it gets to you as soon as they have it ready.
Okay. Any questions? Any Jimmy or Derek, anybody there?
I got one question.
Okay.
Normally, through the incubation period for the vaccine to take effect, in order for it to get into your bone marrow where all your white antibodies are stored at, I was wondering, has that been a study taken yet to confirm how long or how positive the vaccination is as far as the Moderna?
Say that one more time. Can you repeat that first part? I'm sorry. You're asking about incubation period. Are you talking about how long you suggest that you wait before you consider yourself protected, or are you talking about how long you are protected from the vaccine in general?
No, I'm talking about the vaccine in general. During the incubating period, when the HIV and everything, before they would develop a vaccination for that, or a serum, what they call a cocktail. Normally it takes more than 6 months to a year for it to actually take effect inside your body to be effectively getting rid of or protecting you when, like you were saying, when the virus and you get in contact with it, your body immune system automatically goes into the, doing
Yeah,
producing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, producing that immune response. So the span is 2 weeks. That's what we tell them. That's what the CDC informed us. They're really truthfully, some folks may get protected after the 1 week mark, but we usually say that 2 week mark is when we can be sure from what we've observed in other people that your body has all the elements of the immune response produced and ready for any potential infection down the line. So 2 weeks is that waiting period where we would say, kind of don't consider yourself protected until you've gotten, until 2 weeks after you've gotten your second dose.
Okay.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Grace, thank you. I saw somewhere that your office and other offices is creating church captains to keep the message before the congregations. Could you add St. Benedict's to that list? And I'll give you a name of a person who will be the church captain.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure. So I will connect with the rest of the team and make sure that we get in touch with you all directly. What we've been doing as far as our minority outreach is just to make sure that we are serving the demographic groups that identify as minorities within Montgomery County. We usually have at least 1 or 2 individuals from the local churches in Montgomery County that can kind of serve as gatekeepers and help people register for appointments. We'll also make sure that this link isn't just shared with somebody from Indiana or somebody from another county to take advantage of spots that are being reserved for our fellow Montgomery County neighbors. So I can get that. I can let folks know that St. Benedict would like to be on that list, and we'll make sure to get back with you.
Good. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. We appreciate it, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.
I got one question.
Okay.
How do we convince people that this vaccine won't hurt you? My sister's adamant that she won't take the vaccine because it'll do something to her. And I tried education and everything, she just won't.
Yeah, understood. I mean, different people have different motivations. For me, I saw myself working at these testing sites and vaccination sites and coming home to my wife who wasn't yet vaccinated at that point, and that was my motivation, is not getting her sick and not hearing another tragic story of a close one being lost. As far as, the broader scope of, really kind of getting folks to be confident about what the benefit of the vaccine is, check the news stories and look at the headlines of people who have the privilege trying to skip lines or pay additional money to get vaccinated, right? Look those up and understand that they would not be doing that unless there was reason to be confident in this vaccine product. The fact that people are fighting to get ahead of the line, or people are trying to, unjustly kind of bring their friends in to get vaccinated, kind of shows that there's something legit about these vaccinations. And I've been vaccinated, my wife has been vaccinated, we are doing just fine. A lot of our health department has been vaccinated as well. So the results are there. And even with this there has been a recent increase in cases for COVID-19 that does not relate to people who have been vaccinated. That is still folks who have yet to be vaccinated, who are stepping out more because the weather's getting warmer, or students who go on spring break and whatnot. But the increase in COVID-19 rates does not include, and it was not caused by people who have been vaccinated. Those people are exempt from that increase because they now have that protection. So, there's my work for it, but there's also what was being done on a national level, and people are fighting to get in line for these doses. And I would just hope that people who have the opportunity to get the vaccination take advantage of it too, because there are a lot of folks who are trying to get to that point through their own means.
Well, thank you, because I've tried everything I can do to convince her, but she just won't take it.
Yeah, it's, we're going to keep working and continue to find ways to get the right information out to folks. We don't want to just throw this thing in your face. We want to make sure we give you the right education so, feel empowered to make the right decisions. So, if there are any specific questions that individual has, feel free to send them my way either now, or you can work through a Sir Tom Roberts to get me that question. I'll get that response back to you. But yeah, whatever concerns you're hearing about, let us know. We'll do our best to clarify them and really make sure you have all the facts and information you need to make the right decision about protecting yourself and those around you.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else?
No?
Okay, well, thank you again for these, and we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. Don't hesitate to reach out to the health department if you want a secondary presentation or if there's anything that I may not have touched on efficiently. But yeah, thank you for this time again, and looking forward to seeing hopefully some of you with some of our vaccinations.
Okay, good, thank you. All right.
Sure.
Goodbye. Have a good day.